My name is Sara and this is my third year participating in the Challenge Walk. My connection to MS is through my courageous mother, Linda Snyder, who has battled this disabling disease for the last 40 years. My mom was diagnosed with MS at age 24, a year and a half after marrying my dad. She was in the prime of her life, proudly serving as a dietitian in the U.S. Army. MS eventually led to her being medically retired from the Army. About a year after I was born, my mom was completely confined to a wheelchair. From that point, MS slowly began to take away other functions, not being able to clasp buttons, not being able to dress herself, not being able to pick up that book she loved because she was now legally blind, not being able to feed herself. Throughout my entire life, watching my mom fight against MS, I never once heard her complain. My mom showed me on a daily basis what a strong woman she was. She was always very adamant about keeping a positive attitude and having lots of laughter in her life and a smile on her face. 8 years ago, my mom had a very severe case of pneumonia that ended her up in the ICU. My mom never fully recovered from this case of pneumonia, and her lungs were not strong enough for her to breathe on her own anymore. She would need to be on the ventilator for the rest of her life for the extra support. This meant that my dad would no longer be able to take care of her in our Colorado Springs home, and she would need to be in a nursing home that had 24-hour respite care. Leaving the comfort of your home and going into a nursing home is never easy, but again, throughout this whole process, I never once heard my mom complain. She is now in Pueblo, Colorado, 45 miles south of Colorado Springs, and my dad goes down every other day to visit her, and she still gets that beautiful smile on her face when he walks in the door. That smile is also the only way she is now able to communicate. I wanted to do the Challenge Walk in order to do all that I can to support my mom in the fight against MS. When I did the walk for the first time, I was blown away by the amazing spirit of this event. From the eyes of someone who had never done the walk before, it looked like a big family reunion at the start line. Lots of smiles, lots of hugs, lots of happiness. My first year participating in the walk was a very powerful one for me. I met several people who grew up with a parent who had MS. One of those people was Lisa Penzo. It had probably been a good 20 years since I had talked to another child of a parent with MS, and I can't begin to tell you how comforting that was. We go through our daily lives, and you don't come across people that fully understand this disease. And at that moment, it was such a huge relief to know I wasn't alone. Talking to Lisa and sharing our stories and seeing how similar our mother's battles were really brought me a sense of relief and support. Lisa and I made such a connection during my first year of the walk that we decided we must be on a team together. The following year, Team Serendipity formed, and our team of 4 is growing strong and raised over $15,000 for this year's event. About a year after I was born, a local newspaper wrote an article about my family, and I wanted to share a quote from the article. Thankful is a word Mrs. Snyder finds applicable to more and more things. For example, Mrs. Snyder feels lucky to be able to talk on the telephone with friends. She is grateful when they find a vacant handicapped-only parking spot. Thankful for her amigo and expects one day it will come in handy to chase a mischievous daughter down the street, which it could. As I was preparing for this speech, I reread over this article many times, perhaps in a way asking for my mom's help. After reading about what my mom was thankful for, I wondered what she might tell us she is thankful for today. I think today she feels lucky that my dad still visits her and tells her bad jokes. She feels lucky to have such wonderful care at the nursing home. And she's thankful that we are all here this weekend, joining together our fundraising efforts and making those we meet along the way more aware of the devastating effects of MS.